I still remember the exact moment everything changed. And honestly, I wish I could say I planned it, but I didn't. It just happened. We were sitting in my parents' backyard, one of those perfect sunny afternoons. You know the kind. Grilled food, fake laughter, everyone pretending like everything's normal. But in my family, nothing is ever normal. I was already on edge before it even started. Because whenever my sister Chloe gets that look on her face, something bad always follows. And sure enough, about 20 minutes into lunch, she stood up, glass in hand, smile on her face, that same smile I've hated since I was a kid. Okay, everyone, she said, tapping her glass. I just want to say a few words. I swear, my stomach dropped instantly. Because Chloe doesn't say a few words. She performs. And usually, I'm the punchline. People turn toward her, laughing, smiling, waiting. Even my mom leaned forward like she already knew what was coming. And worse, like she was enjoying it. And then Chloe looked straight at me, locked eyes, and said, I just think it's amazing how some people can survive with absolutely no ambition. A few people chuckled. I didn't. She kept going. Like, seriously? She laughed. Imagine being in your late 20s and still struggling to keep up. I mean, I'd be stressed all the time if I were that, financially challenged. Now people were laughing louder. And then she said it. Good thing we all have family members who are generous enough to carry the broke ones. My mom actually laughed out loud at that. Out loud, and something inside me just snapped. Because here's the thing nobody in that yard knew. Or maybe nobody wanted to know. I wasn't the broke one, not even close, but I stayed quiet for years. I let it go. I ignored the comments, the jokes, the looks, all of it. Because every time I tried to defend myself, I'd get hit with the same line. Be the bigger person. Yeah, I was done being the bigger person, so I smiled. Not a nervous smile, not a fake one, a calm one, the kind that makes people uncomfortable. And I said, that's interesting, Chloe. The laughter slowly died down. She raised an eyebrow. Oh, why is that? I tilted my head slightly. Because I don't remember asking you to lie in front of everyone. Silence. Complete silence. You could literally hear the wind. Her smile froze. What are you talking about? She said quickly, laughing it off. I'm just joking. No, I said, still calm. You're not. Now everyone was looking back and forth between us. Confused. Curious. My dad shifted in his seat. Hey, let's not do this right now. But I wasn't stopping. Not this time. You said I'm broke, I continued. That I can't keep up. I shrugged slightly. So, should I talk about the money you keep asking me for? That's when her face changed. Just for a second. But I saw it. Panic. What? She snapped. I've never asked you for money. And there it was. The lie. The same lie she's been telling for years. And the same lie everyone believed. Because Chloe? She's good. Really good. Perfect job. Perfect image. Perfect life. At least, that's what everyone thinks. I leaned back in my chair, still looking at her. Are you sure about that? I asked quietly. She crossed her arms. Absolutely. And then she laughed again, trying to recover. This is exactly what I mean, she said to everyone else. She gets emotional and makes things up when she feels insecure. A few people nodded. Of course they did. That's how it always goes. But this time, I was ready. I stood up slowly. Not rushed, not angry, just done. Okay, I said. Let's clear it up then. My mom sighed loudly. Can you not ruin the day with drama? I looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time, I didn't feel guilty. I'm not the one ruining anything, I said calmly. I'm just tired of pretending. And then I walked inside. I could feel everyone watching me, whispering, wondering, and I knew exactly what they were thinking. She's overreacting. She's being dramatic. She's embarrassing herself. Good, let them think that, because they had no idea what was about to happen. I went straight to my room, opened my closet, and pulled out the one thing I swore I'd never need. A thick envelope. Stuffed. Heavy. Every time Chloe asked for money, I kept something. Screenshots. Transfers. Messages. Voice notes. Even the time she begged me not to tell anyone. At first, I don't even know why I kept it. Maybe part of me knew, one day, I'd need the truth. And today was that day. I held the envelope in my hands for a second, heart racing, not because I was scared, but because I knew, once I walked back out there, nothing would ever be the same again. No more pretending, no more protecting her. No more being the quiet one. I took a deep breath and walked back outside. The conversation stopped the second they saw me. Everyone went quiet again. Chloe forced a laugh. Oh, look, she's back. Did you find your confidence in there? I didn't respond. I just walked to the table, placed the envelope down, and looked straight at her. You said you've never asked me for money, I said. I tapped the envelope lightly. So let's go through this together. Her smile disappeared completely this time. Don't be ridiculous, she said, but her voice wasn't steady anymore. I opened the envelope, pulled out the first paper, and that's when I saw it. That same panic again. But this time, she couldn't hide it, and neither could I. Should I start with last summer? I asked. Should I start with last summer? I asked. No one said a word. I didn't wait. I held up the first paper. June 14th, I read calmly. You texted me at 1:32 a.m. saying, I messed up again. I need $600. Please don't tell Mom and Dad. A few heads turned toward her. Chloe let out a nervous laugh. That's not even, you're taking things out of context. I pulled out my phone, unlocked it, and without even looking at her, I said, You want context? I tapped the screen and played the voice note. Her voice filled the backyard. Shaky, quiet, desperate. I promise I'll pay you back this time. I just need a little help. Please don't let them find out. I can't go through that again. The silence that followed, it was heavy. Different this time. Not awkward, not confused. Real. I looked up. My dad wasn't smiling anymore. My mom's face had gone completely still. And Chloe? She looked like she couldn't breathe. That's one, I said. Then I placed it down and picked up another. August, I continued. 1/200's emergency rent. Flip. October. $450. Just until my next paycheck. Flip. December. 900. Holiday shopping. Which, by the way, you told everyone your fiancé paid for. That word hit. Fiancé. Because up until that moment, he had been quiet. Standing near the grill, watching, processing, slowly. I turned my head toward him. Do you want me to keep going? I asked gently. He didn't answer right away. He just stared at Chloe, and that's when I realized he didn't know. Not even a little. Chloe stepped forward quickly. Stop, just stop. This is insane. No, I said. What's insane is letting me take the blame for something that was never true. She shook her head. You're trying to humiliate me. I let out a quiet breath. No, I said softly. You did that to yourself. That one landed. Hard. She looked around, almost like she was searching for someone to save her. But no one moved. Because now, everyone was starting to connect the dots. All those times you called me irresponsible. I continued. All those jokes about me not having my life together. I paused. You were talking about yourself. My mom finally spoke. That's enough. Her tone was sharp, but not at Chloe. At me. Whatever this is, she said. You don't air it out like this in front of everyone. I turned to her slowly. Really? I asked. Because it was okay when she was doing it to me? She didn't answer. Of course she didn't. Because there was no answer. I picked up the envelope again. You want me to stop? I said, fine. I looked at Chloe. Then say it. She blinked. Say what? The truth. Her jaw tightened. I don't owe you anything. There it was. That same arrogance. Even now. Even after everything. And honestly, that hurt more than the lies. I nodded slowly. Okay, I said. Then I pulled out the last set of papers. The ones I almost didn't bring. Then I guess I'll say it for you. I laid them out on the table. Neatly, one by one. Bank transfers, dates, amounts, highlighted totals. I kept track, I said. No one moved. No one even blinked. Every single time, I continued. And then I tapped the final page. The total. I didn't do it to use against you, I said quietly. I did it because I needed to remind myself I wasn't crazy. I looked her straight in the eyes. You owe me $7,000. You could feel the shift. It was instant. Like something invisible just broke. Her fiancé stepped forward. Slowly. Is that true? He asked her. His voice wasn't loud, but it didn't need to be. Chloe looked at him. Opened her mouth. Closed it again. No, she said quickly. She's exaggerating. I'm not, I cut in. And for the first time, my voice wasn't soft anymore. It was firm, clear, final. I have everything, I said. Messages, transfers, dates, even the ones where you promised you'd tell him. That's when his expression changed. From confusion to something else, something heavier. You told me you were fine, he said to her. I am fine, she snapped. This is just... Then why were you asking her for money? She didn't answer. Because she couldn't. And everyone saw it. Right there. In real time. The truth. Unfiltered. Unprotected. And suddenly, I wasn't the broke one anymore. I was the only honest one in the room. My dad rubbed his face like he was trying to wake up from a bad dream. My mom looked like she didn't recognize either of us. And Chloe? She looked small. Not confident. Not perfect. Just exposed. And I wish I could say I felt good in that moment. Victorious. Satisfied. But honestly, I didn't. I just felt tired. Years of swallowing things. Ignoring things. Carrying things that were never mine. It all caught up at once. So I took a step back, looked at everyone, and said the one thing I should have said a long time ago. I'm done. Not loud, not dramatic, just done. I'm done covering for you, I said, looking at Chloe. I'm done being the easy target, I added, glancing at my parents. And I'm definitely done pretending this is normal. No one stopped me. No one argued. Because deep down, they knew. I turned around, started walking toward the gate, and right before I stepped out, I heard his voice. Wait. I stopped. Didn't turn around yet. Is there anything else I should know? He asked. That question? It changed everything. I stopped when he said that. Is there anything else I should know? For a second, I thought about it. Not because I had more proof, but because I had more truth. And sometimes, truth hurts more than anything you can hold in your hands. I slowly turned around. Everyone was still watching. No one had moved. No one had left. It was like the entire afternoon was frozen, waiting. I looked at him, then at Chloe, and then back at him again. There's always more, I said quietly, but I think you've heard enough for today. He nodded slowly, not like he agreed, more like he understood, and that scared her. You could see it all over her face. Don't do this, she said quickly, stepping toward him. You're really going to believe her over me? He didn't answer right away. He just kept looking at her, like he was seeing her for the first time. And maybe he was. I'm not choosing sides, he finally said. That gave her hope. I could see it. She exhaled like she had just been saved. But then he added, I'm choosing the truth. And just like that, whatever she thought she still had was gone. Her expression dropped. No, she whispered. You don't understand. I understand enough, he said, calm but distant. You lied to me, repeatedly. It wasn't like that. You let me believe something that wasn't real. His voice didn't rise, didn't shake, and somehow, that made it worse. Because this wasn't anger, it was clarity. He took a step back. Not dramatic, not rushed, just deliberate. I need space, he said. That word hit harder than anything else. Space, not forgiveness, not we'll talk later, just distance. Final distance. She reached for him. Wait, please! But he was already shaking his head. I can't do this right now. And then he turned and walked away. Just like that. No big scene. No shouting. No closure. Just gone. Chloe stood there, frozen. Her hand still slightly raised, like she was holding on to something that wasn't there anymore. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel overshadowed by her. I didn't feel small. I didn't feel like I had to fix anything. Because this wasn't mine to fix. My mom finally stood up. This has gone too far, she said, her voice tight. But even now, she didn't know who she was saying it to. Me? Her? The situation? Maybe all of it. I looked at her. And I didn't soften. Not this time. No, I said. This didn't go too far. I took a slow breath. It just finally went far enough. That shut everything down, completely, because there was nothing left to argue, nothing left to deny. The truth had already done its job. Relatives started quietly picking up their things. One by one, no one wanted to be in the middle of it anymore. The same people who laughed earlier couldn't even look at me now. And honestly, I didn't need them to. My dad walked over to the table, looked at the papers, the numbers, the proof, and then at Chloe. Is it true? He asked. His voice was low, but heavy. She didn't answer. She couldn't. Because every possible answer would still be a lie. He closed his eyes for a second. Like something inside him finally clicked, or maybe finally broke. My mom didn't say anything after that. She just sat down slowly, quiet, still, like the version of reality she held onto for years had just slipped out of her hands. And Chloe? She looked at me, not angry, not confident, just empty. You really did all this? She asked. Her voice was barely there. I didn't react. I didn't do anything to you, I said. I just stopped protecting you. That was it. That was the difference. For years, I covered for her, made excuses for her, carried things that were never mine. And the moment I put them down, everything collapsed. Not because I destroyed it, but because it was never stable to begin with. I picked up my bag, didn't rush, didn't hesitate. And before I walked away, I looked at my parents one last time. I love you, I said, and I meant it. But I'm not doing this anymore. No conditions, no arguments, no waiting for permission, just truth and boundaries, real ones. I turned, walked out through the gate, and this time, no one called me back. No one stopped me. No one told me to be the bigger person, because finally, they understood what that had been costing me. And as I stepped out onto the street, something felt different. Not lighter, not happier, just clear. For the first time in years, I wasn't carrying anything that didn't belong to me. And honestly, that was enough. Because sometimes, you don't need revenge to win. You just need the truth, spoken out loud at the right moment. And once it is, everything else takes care of itself.